Thank you to my colleagues for their patience, and thank you for our hosts at the IEA for making this possible. The past few months, as you know, have been a period of unprecedented global challenges. I know that many of our governments have taken decisive action to address the impacts of the pandemic by supporting workers, communities, and businesses. And as we begin to move towards recovery, Canada believes that inclusivity is the key to building a greener future. We must resolve that people, as we talk about all of this, we must resolve that people aren't left behind, that as we lower our emissions, we must resolve that those working in high emitting, non-renewable energy sectors aren't left behind. We must include them and make them feel included in this transition with good, meaningful work. Because those who feel they have been left behind, they are going to cling to the familiar. They will choose governments and policies rooted in the status quo, resisting the urgency of climate change, resisting the change that is vital to confronting it, and resisting the need for governments to be ambitious. So, and why is that? Well, it's because they were left behind. Our mission must be a shared one to build a stronger and more innovative energy sector that drives a more prosperous and sustainable economy that does not leave people behind, that does not leave whole regions behind, regions and provinces of countries like my own here in Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada. So if our citizens are to feel included, they could slow down or halt the momentum that we are creating here. But where they are included, that momentum to a cleaner, brighter, more prosperous future will be unstoppable. Today, our discussion will explore how the public and private sectors can work together to attract top talent by supporting increased diversity and inclusion in the energy sector. The socioeconomic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic have disproportionately hurt the most vulnerable in our society. Job losses and reductions in working hours have been felt by women, youth, Indigenous people, immigrants, racialized peoples, and persons with disabilities. And it is critical as government and industry leaders to work to ensure that there is a people-centered focus to the economic recovery. If we do this the right way, we will empower workers and communities, we will build public support for a net zero future, we will tap into the innovation potential that comes with a diversity of perspectives, and we will address unequal distribution of benefits. We can leverage existing initiatives so that inclusiveness is central to our energy transition, like our Equal by 30 campaign, which commits companies and governments to gender equality in the energy sector. And our commitment to energy transition must mean equipping workers and communities with the right skills so that they can transition and succeed in a low carbon economy. And to make real progress, we must be able to effectively measure results, identify gaps, and track the progress we are making on inclusivity. Today's session is a great opportunity to discuss how we can work together to achieve this. And to help set the scene for our discussion, I would like to invite my colleague from Morocco, Minister Aziz Rabah. And thank you to the IEA team, as Christiana Figueres in our group noted. The IEA has been responsible for really talking about green recovery at this pivotal time. And everywhere I look, if I open the Financial Times, it's Fatih Birol talking about green recovery. If I open The Economist, it's Fatih Birol talking about the green recovery. If I open Reader's Digest, it's Fatih Birol talking about the green recovery. It is tremendously heartening and inspiring, I think, for those of us who believe we must combat climate change effectively, who believe that we must do this together as a collective of nations. It is inspiring to see such a diverse and distinguished group of global leaders here, 40 ministers from 5 continents, determined to take action on a sustainable recovery and accelerating clean energy innovation. And I'm even more pleased that we have, as you said, Fatih, over 500,000 people watching us right now, because they will bear witness to our words and they will hold us to account. And that is a very good thing. I co-chaired an extremely productive panel on equitable recovery with my colleague from Morocco, Minister Aziz Rabah. And in spite of the pandemic, our resolve remains unchanged to build a clean energy future with people at the heart of it. If I could sum up what we heard, for our energy transition to be successful, it must be clean. But it also must be affordable. It must deliver reliable energy, and all citizens must see an opportunity to participate and prosper in the future that we are building. Quite simply, we must leave no one behind. During our session, we heard support for gender and racial equality in the energy sector, support for vulnerable people, most especially, and regions. And we heard overwhelmingly consensus that the moment to act to catalyze this clean energy transition is now. We discussed ways to act, including putting equal opportunities for our diverse workforces at the center of recovery policies, investing in clean energy, innovation, and energy efficiency, all of which have high potential to create green jobs and provide opportunities to our workers and our communities. Making smart investments that will allow us to meet our climate targets and mitigate the negative impacts of climate change on the most vulnerable, and focusing on climate financing, which can play a significant role to help us achieve those objectives. I was also pleased with our focus on measuring results, and to that end, Canada's Chief Statistician, Anil Arora, helped share our international community how we can harness data to track our progress on inclusive growth. And on that note, Canada, in collaboration with the IEA, would like to explore the possibility of developing indicators to track progress on inclusive growth. Finally, Ambassador Jane Coombs of New Zealand shared a proverb with us from her homeland. We are all in this canoe together. And indeed, that is how I hope the world will see the task before us. Thank you, Fatih.